Hello, everybody. My name is Thomas Slider, and welcome to my presentation, Bridging the Gap, Leading with Christ and Educational Innovation. Today, I'm going to be presenting on the behalf of Faith Tech Innovation, where today I'm going to be talking about how we can able to guide others through technological change while still being able to follow the example of our Lord Jesus Christ. So, whenever we introduce new technology in schools, people would usually react in many different ways. Where, thanks to Everett Roger, he was able to introduce five types of adopters. Where you have the innovators, who are usually risk takers or are the first to try out these new ideas before everybody else. Meanwhile, we have the early adopters who are leaders who usually welcome this new change into their lives. And then we have the early majority who are usually more cautious but do adopt the ideas before most people do. Meanwhile, we have the late majority who are usually skeptical about this new technology and would usually wait until others have tried it first. And lastly, we have the Lagardes, who are very traditional about their teaching methods and about introducing any kind of new technology or new anything, and are usually the ones who would usually like to avoid change as best as possible. Now, for us to be able to have innovators or early adopters and early majorities in our company, I believe that we need to be able to show them that we could able to lead innovation well. Where first of all we'll be able to introduce new technology tools for these different groups of people for their classrooms. Where we will start off by having the early adopters lead any training of sessions or build support for any of the changes that they're making inside their classrooms. And then next, we would go on to rely on the early majority to help normalize the use of these new tools across the system, where Jesus Christ did something very similar to this, where he worked closely with his early followers, the disciples, usually through training or sending them out into the world to be able to share his mission, to be able to make this possible. And just like the early adopters, they were able to help spread his mission by having passion, being able to have faith in his teachings. Now, as Shawan and Schwab have introduced in their articles, they were able to show that these groups, and the innovators, the early adopters, and the early majorities, that they are critical to be able to make this new technology diffusion, this new change into the educational world, since they have the most influence over others, but through their trust and through their actions. Now, when trying to work with the late majority and Lagardes, they usually would need to be able to have. We just need to be able to show them patience. We need to show them that we are supportive of their work and that we're willing to offer hands-on training or give them time for them to adjust to this new change, and be able to show them real examples of how successful this new change in technology has been, so it can help reduce the amount of fear that they have going into this kind of work. Where I found that Jesus was able to show this kind of patience with those who have doubted him, the one time when Thomas doubted Christ's resurrection until Jesus showed him the proof of his resurrection. Where Jesus didn't shame him or anything like that. He was able to invite Thomas to believe, to see, to show him. And I believe that faith tech innovations should be able to do the same thing with those who need more time. Now, as Weisenberg have put it in their article, they have shown that it was more important for us to plan for any adult learners who may resist the change because some of these adult learners have had bad experiences in the past or tend to have a fear of being able to make a change in their lives, especially with new technology. Now, for us to be able to lead like Christ, it is essential for us to be able for us to model servant leadership, be able to show that we can able to put others first, or teach them with love and encourage a community within the educational world. When we lead with humility and compassion, we will be able to build trust. And with trust, this will be able to help teachers feel supported instead of being forced to be able to adapt to the world that we are live in right now, where it can turn from having resistance into cooperation. Where we with having a Christ-like leadership, we'll be able to help push innovation to be successful since it's reaching people's hearts and not just their minds. Now, I appreciate you listening to my presentation today. These are the references I have used where you have seen, where I've mentioned before that Shan has a big expression towards the diffusion of innovations. Meanwhile, Schraub has a big expression towards the technology adaptation theory. And then Weisenberg had a huge planning program for any new adult learners who want to be able to make a change in the world. I have found that these resources have helped me understand how to work with these different types of people whenever it comes to dealing with new changes. And I believe and I hope that our company and that this presentation will be able to do the same for you.